In this video, we'll be taking a look at 3 college football games happening on October 28, 2023, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 6 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 3 college football games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start. If you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Duke versus Louisville, 2 Atlantic Coast Conference contenders aiming to challenge Florida State for the top spot in the conference collide this weekend, as the Louisville Cardinals play host to the Duke Blue Devils. Duke is coming off an 18-point loss to Florida State, marking their second loss in the last 3 weeks. However, it's essential to note that Duke's defeats have come at the hands of formidable opponents like Florida State and Notre Dame, both currently ranked in the top 15 of the college football rankings. Louisville is not far behind, holding the number 18 spot, and with a win over Notre Dame in their pocket, they are the favorites at home, favored by more than a field goal. Louisville is also well rested, coming off a bye week following their first loss of the season against Pittsburgh. The situation seems favorable for Louisville. Can Duke stage an upset? The Duke Blue Devils hold a 5-2 record this season. They suffered a 38-20 loss to Florida State last week, despite leading 20-17 at halftime. In the second half, Duke was outscored 21-0, leading to their defeat. The Blue Devils were outgained 420-273. And their third down conversion rate was 4-12 in the loss. Duke's only other loss this year was against Notre Dame, a game they also contested fiercely. Duke's offense averages 30 points per game, with 173.3 passing yards and 198.3 rushing yards per game, along with a 38.3% success rate on third downs. Riley Leonard has thrown for 981 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions, adding 339 rushing yards and 4 touchdowns. Jordan Waters has rushed for 465 yards and scored 9 touchdowns, while Jalen Calhoun has caught 25 passes for 379 yards and 2 touchdowns. The Duke defense concedes 14 points per game this year. The Louisville Cardinals boast a 6-1 record this season, having lost their previous game to Pittsburgh by a score of 38-21. Louisville led 21-14 at halftime, but faced a second-half deficit of 24-0. The Cardinals outgained Pittsburgh 430-288, but suffered 3 turnovers during the game. Prior to the loss, Louisville had secured 6 consecutive wins, placing them in a tie for second place in the Atlantic Coast Conference. The Louisville offense scores 34 points per game, with 285.7 passing yards and 176.3 rushing yards per game, and they have a 39.5% success rate on third downs. Jack Plummer has thrown for 1,901 yards, 13 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions, while Jawhar Jordan has rushed for 661 yards and scored 8 touchdowns. Jamry Thrash has caught 39 passes for 639 yards and 6 touchdowns. The Louisville defense allows 21 points per game this season. This contest is likely to see Louisville creating opportunities, regardless of whether Leonard plays for Duke. If Leonard is unavailable or not at his best, it's improbable that Henry Boleyn IV, making his first career road start, can perform against a rested and talented Louisville defense. The Cardinals will take advantage of such a situation. Boleyn IV has only started 1 game in his career, and although Duke won that game against NC State at home, Boleyn IV went just 4 for 1-2 passing for 107 yards. Duke is unlikely to find success in Louisville this week, especially if they become one-dimensional on offense. Louisville has scored at least 33 points in all 3 of their home games this year, including 33 against Notre Dame and a resounding 56 against a surging Boston College team. Louisville's head coach, Jeff Brom, was brought in to infuse explosiveness into the offense, and even against Duke's robust defense, they are expected to threaten 30-plus points, provided they protect the football. Concerns about rust following the bye week are minimal, considering Louisville is coming off their first loss, and likely use the break to refocus and prepare for the task at hand. With Duke's potential one-dimensional offensive approach, the Blue Devils will struggle to keep up. While there is a case to be made for Duke as underdogs, it would be more reassuring if it were clear whether Riley Leonard would be playing, as Duke's effectiveness greatly depends on him as the starting quarterback. Louisville had to recover from their loss to Pitt, and the bye week likely helped them regain their focus. Louisville is poised to come out determined and secure a victory by a touchdown, so the Louisville Cardinals to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Given Leonard's likely absence or limitations, Duke will rely on their running game to move the football and control the clock. Although Duke boasts one of the best rushing attacks in the country, Louisville's run defense is formidable, setting the stage for an exciting battle. While Duke's game plan might keep the contest close, it's unlikely to result in a high-scoring game. Louisville possesses a solid defense in the red zone, ranking 28th nationally in stop rate. Duke's defense is also well equipped to limit the Cardinals' offensive output, especially in their secondary. Duke's defense excels in preventing their opponents from scoring in the red zone, boasting the 5th highest stop rate in the country. With Jordan likely unavailable or playing through a hamstring injury, Louisville's offense might encounter some challenges against Duke, who will adopt a more conservative offensive approach. The total points line for this matchup has seen a downward adjustment. In the last 5 meetings, this total is the lowest, with a previous series record of 2-1. Last season, they surpassed the total with a combined 62 points. Over their last 3 meetings, they averaged 58 points. The under has prevailed in 4 of Georgia's games this season, and while Georgia has played in games that went slightly over the closing total, 4 of the 5 overs exceeded the line by just 4 points or fewer. Given the expectation of Duke struggling offensively, especially in scoring points, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Pittsburgh versus Notre Dame. In Saturday afternoon's college football matchup, the Pittsburgh Panthers will visit Notre Dame Stadium in South Bend, Indiana, to take on the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. The Panthers, with a 2-5 record, are coming off a tough 21-17 road loss to Wake Forest. Meanwhile, the Fighting Irish, sporting a 6-2 record, had a bye week followed by a dominant 48-20 win against USC. Pittsburgh has been a major disappointment this season, falling short of high preseason expectations. In their recent game against Wake Forest, the Panthers could only muster 17 points, resulting in a 4-point defeat. Christian Value completed 28 of 45 passes for 302 yards and 2 touchdowns. On average, Pittsburgh scores 25 points per game, but their defense also allows 25 points per game. Their offense faces a significant challenge in this upcoming game. Notre Dame has incurred 2 losses this season, but they made a strong comeback in their previous game against USC, winning by 28 points with a score of 48-20. While the individual offensive stats weren't astounding, they were sufficient to put up a substantial point total. Sam Hartman completed 13 of his 20 passes for 126 yards and 2 touchdowns. This season, Notre Dame averages 36 points, and their defense concedes 16 points per game. They possess the 17th ranked offense and aim to make a statement with their offensive performance in this game. Although playoff hopes may seem distant at this point, Notre Dame has various objectives to pursue. Facing Pittsburgh, a team that has struggled defensively and in their aerial offense, plays to Notre Dame's advantage. Estem has been an effective force on the ground, and if the Irish choose to emphasize the running game, he can break free for a big play at any time. Moreover, with Notre Dame's strong red zone defense, Pittsburgh's offense, if it can advance down the field, will face an even greater challenge. Notre Dame's recent crushing victory against USC, combined with a week off to prepare for Pittsburgh, points to a favorable situation for the Fighting Irish. Pittsburgh has struggled to score, averaging a mere 15 points per game on the road, while Notre Dame has posted an impressive 40 points per game at home. The Irish hold a substantial offensive advantage with Hartman and their running game, especially after the additional week of preparation. Defensively, they also have an edge. Notably, Notre Dame boasts a 10-2 against the spread record in their last 12 games against Atlantic Coast Conference opponents. Pittsburgh ranks below average across the board, particularly in offensive performance. They are 115th in total offense and 88th in scoring offense. Pittsburgh will play its 3rd road game out of its last 4 attempts, facing a Notre Dame team that has had an additional week to fine-tune their strategy. In contrast, Notre Dame is one of the more well-rounded teams in the country, ranking 17th in scoring offense and 14th in scoring defense. Pittsburgh's defense can only do so much to keep them in the game. The Irish are more than capable of covering the 3-touchdown spread, so the Notre Dame Fighting Irish to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. there's a plausible scenario in which Pittsburgh fails to score at all. Notre Dame's defense is likely the most formidable they've encountered, and their low third down conversion rate will curtail many of their drives. Notre Dame's path to offensive success against the Panthers is fairly straightforward, as Pittsburgh has struggled to defend against the pass. Once Notre Dame takes a comfortable lead, they'll likely turn to Estem in the ground game, grind the clock, and execute long, time-consuming drives. In their last game, the Irish scored enough points to surpass this total on their own. However, they may take their foot off the gas pedal after securing a comfortable lead. Under the projected total is our full game total pick. Southern California versus California. In a Pac-12 showdown, the Cal Golden Bears are set to host the Southern California Trojans on a Saturday afternoon at California Memorial Stadium. Both teams have faced recent struggles, with Southern California coming into the game on a 2-game losing streak and Cal losing 2 of their last 4 matchups. The Trojans have historically dominated this series, winning 8 of the last 10 meetings, including a 6-point victory last season. Since 2018, they've split 4 meetings, giving the Golden Bears some hope when playing at home. This in-state rivalry always delivers an intriguing contest and is a must-watch for West Coast football fans. Southern California arrives at this game with an overall record of 6-2 but is coming off 2 consecutive losses. In their recent clash against Utah, they rallied in the 4th quarter to outscore their opponent 15-6, but it wasn't enough as they suffered a defeat. Caleb Williams completed 24 of 34 passes for 256 yards. After these 2 losses, Williams is likely out of the Heisman race, and there have been questions about whether he will complete the season. Southern California averages 45 points per game, while their defense concedes 30.5 points per game. Cal enters the game with a 3-4 overall record and has also faced a 2-game losing streak. Defense has been a concern, especially in their recent matchup against Oregon State, which they lost 52-40. In their last game against Utah, the offense scored 14 points while the defense allowed 34. Quarterback Fernando Mendoza completed 10 of 17 passes for 149 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. California averages 30 points per game, but their defense allows 31 points per game. The Southern California Trojans possess more talent and depth, making a blowout victory quite plausible. However, both teams have struggled defensively, and Caleb Williams appeared disheartened on the sidelines after the loss to Utah, potentially causing Southern California's playoff hopes to dissipate. The Cal Golden Bears boast a top 20 rushing offense and have had an additional week to prepare for this matchup. Southern California's players may start losing motivation as their preseason aspirations slip away. The Trojans have disappointed defensively, making them vulnerable to Cal's strong running game, which sets up a favorable matchup. The Golden Bears can control the clock and limit Southern California's offensive opportunities, allowing them to stay close in the game, particularly while playing at home. Southern California has failed to cover the spread in their last 5 games, while Cal has covered the spread in 2 consecutive games and 4 of their last 5 meetings with Southern California, suggesting they'll cover again. Although a Southern California loss in this game would be a significant upset, it's challenging to envision them winning by a large margin, considering their defensive struggles. So the California Golden Bears to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. In their previous matchup, these 2 teams combined for a total of 76 points. Southern California has gone over the point total in 5 consecutive games and 7 of their 8 games this season. They lead the nation in average points scored per game, capable of scoring rapidly and in bunches against Cal's defense, which has allowed over 50 points twice this season and ranks outside the top 100 teams in points allowed at 33.5 per game. The Golden Bears offense ranks in the top 50 with an average of 30 points per game. Southern California undoubtedly possesses an elite offense, particularly with the reigning Heisman winner in their ranks. However, their defense has struggled consistently this season. Cal's ability to move the ball on the ground means they will generate their share of points. The over has hit in 7 of Southern California's games this season, and it has also been achieved in 3 of Cal's last 4 games. Both teams rank in the bottom half of national teams in terms of passing yards allowed, suggesting that a significant number of points will be scored through the air. With Southern California consistently involved in high-scoring games, this matchup at Berkeley on Saturday is expected to follow suit. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.